I also recording.
Okay, I'm just going to turn my camera off here.
Hi, Zishan, just bear with us.
No worries.
No. Oh, right, yeah, I have to get off this to go over there.
Yeah, we'll leave this call and jump over to Zoom.
Yeah, I didn't realise that. I was thinking, why is it not working?
Hi, Zishan.
Right, who were the other people that...
I think I've sent it to them. So we had Jill, Zishan, Andrew, Neil, and then Francis, Duncan, and Mark. Here's Francis. And then Beth has hopefully sent it to all delegates.
Just a flag, I didn't actually get asked for a password. So there's one in the email, but it just let me in.
Let you straight in.
Yeah.
Did you let them? Okay.
Definitely added on a password.
Thank you.
I can see, like, I kind of vaguely remember the names from last time, so I've got a waiting room on now, so I'm not just going to let anyone drop in. I'm going by people's names. That's odd though.
I got straight into that without having to put a...
Yeah, we were just saying that's happened again.
Don't know why that's the case, but I think I'm just going to go off people who've got full names and names that I recognise. And if you can add a password one when people are in there, I definitely click the put password in. Duncan.
Hi, Duncan.
Hello.
Hi.
Can't control that sort of thing, I'm afraid.
No, I just wouldn't expect that kind of thing to happen, would you?
No.
Yeah, pretty horrific.
Duncan, did you just manage to get straight onto this? I didn't ask you for a password either.
Yeah.
The link didn't work for me.
The link didn't work for Mark.
It said the host has removed you.
Is that the new one?
I'm logging in via my Zoom.
Yeah, it worked fine for me.
That's odd.
Yeah. It says you're unable to rejoin this meeting because you were previously removed by the host.
Mark's message says that he can't join because he was previously removed by the host. So probably just inadvertently got swept up.
Right, bear with.
Mark WUR, right?
Yeah. Add in.
We'll just hold on a few more minutes. We've sent out the new link to the delegates, so we hopefully will get some people rejoining. Obviously, just a huge apology for that happening. It's somewhat out of our control, but obviously we've got Tash just still looking at the security of the call just to make sure that we don't get any repeats of that happening. So just bear with us a moment. And yes, not exactly ideal.
It was all going much too smoothly for you.
It was. I was far too cocky, wasn't I, about this morning?
I've read about things like that happening, but yeah.
It seems to be more on Zoom. It seems to be more on Zoom than other platforms.
Really?
I've heard of it with something else, whether a different platform would be more secure. I don't know.
I don't quite know how to add someone back in.
Is Mark
but
just all right hopping on yours with you, Duncan? It might just be easier. Yeah, they're in the same.
yeah, I've just enabled a chat room now. Well, the waiting room, so I'll just have to kind of triple check everything before I allow people to jump in.
Okay, just I'm just going to mute myself for a second while I just check where we're at with the delegate list. So Jagtash, maybe you can just kind of man this room for a moment. I'll be back.
Fine.
No worries.
Has anyone ever experienced that before in a Zoom call?
I know. Wolverhampton Council have banned it from use in all their schools because of.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it. I think when they were using it, the government, they were using it, and it was all over the TV, and they were saying no, it's not that safe because he'd taken pictures, and you could see the info to log into the calls and stuff. But I don't know. I'd like to believe people have got better things to do than write around for Zoom calls and do stuff like that.
Clearly not.
Makes me reconsider using it with my family.
I use it all the time with my family.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
We were actually really lucky. We already worked as a company very remotely. So we are used to using Hangouts just for everything anyway. Like the default is to go on the Hangout, and then you would always be surprised if someone walked up to you in the office. You'd be like, oh, we're in the same place. I forgot about that. So we kind of didn't need to do a whole like, right, let's teach everyone how to use this and pick which one we're going to use and move over.
Yeah,
So
we normally use Teams, but I think if you don't like buy into Teams, I don't think you can just kind of jump on a call. That's not how it works. Obviously, the beauty of Zoom is that you're able to do that, but then I guess the downfall is that anyone can kind of jump in, do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Right, Joe, I have just taken off the share screen for now. And just remind me, because knowing me, I'll forget. I'll introduce you and then you'll be like, Tash, I can't do it.
Okay.
So just remind me to enable it again.
You get an extra few minutes.
Yeah. Oh, I just thought as well, that's recorded, that last one has. Because I've got the record function on.
Be careful what you send out now.
I know, I just thought that.
That one can go straight in the bin.
Jag, do you remember from last time who the names were that we were removing?
Roughly.
Do you happen to know if Ian was one of the names? This is the annoying thing now, that I'm really skeptical to add people in. All right, well, we'll take it off the screen share and let's see what happens. Beth. Oh, it's disappeared. We'll just drop.
Just do one at a time, Tash.
Yeah.
And then you're host anyway, so at least you can.
Hi Ian, you've not muted, but we can't see you at the minute. No. Never been so skeptical in my life.
Oh, is that better?
Yep, that's better.
There we go.
Sorry, we had a bit of an issue with the last call, so we've had to change it all around. So I'm adding in everyone one by one now. Sorry, feel a bit on the spot when you've jumped in on the call and I'm like, you're right.
That's all right. No problem.
We're getting back to our previous numbers.
Okay, sorry about that. So I think the password's now working, Tash.
Oh, great. Okay,
Well,
yeah.
Beth couldn't get in without one. So I suggest we start. Let's try and salvage the time that we've got left. Huge apologies again to anybody who was in the previous Zoom room. Obviously we're mortified as organisers, and a huge lesson learned there about how we use some of this technology. So yeah, huge apologies for such offensive content being kind of streamed through this call, but we've got half an hour. I think we can still use it wisely. I'm going to hand over to Tash, who's just going to introduce the marketplace section, and then any time we've got left, we'll see if we can have a bit of a Q&A or a bit of a chat. Thank you very much.
Hi guys, as Kate said, so sorry about what happened before, and I do think as we're moving through this, we might get drips and drabs of people that obviously jumped into the call. So I will be adding in people one by one, very slowly. Learnt my lesson. So we have 3 speakers from 3 organisations today. We've got Zishan from JosKos Solutions, then Neil from Litmus Partnerships, and then Leon from Guide Education. I'm not going to make any introductions to any of them because obviously it's kind of part of that pitch. So everyone is getting 5 minutes to just speak through about their organisation and what it is that they do. And then I have told them all if they could drop in their call to action in the Zoom chat, that would be great. If anyone's got any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat or use the thumbs up reaction for now, because I can't seem to find the hands on. So that's just on reactions at the bottom of your screen, and you should see the little thumbs up. So once everyone's done, then we'll start to take some questions. So without further ado, Zishan? Yeah, right. Screen share. There you go, Joe. Should be able to do that now.
Thank you. Over to you, Zishan.
Lovely. Hi, everyone, and thank you for attending this call. Just we'll go straight into it, really. We've got a few minutes. I work for JosKos Solutions, and we are a specialist provider of ICT solutions and support services to all kinds of schools, whether they're primary or secondary or special schools, and multi-academy trusts as well, and even the informal setups such as federations. And first and foremost, I want to share that we exist here today really to support you and your teachers to deliver excellent teaching and learning experiences for your students. You may have heard of us or come across us in the past. We've won numerous BET awards and been on the finalist many times. We also work very, very closely with the Department for Education and are on the department framework and various different Crown Commercial Services frameworks. And we're also a Microsoft and Google partner, so if any of you have applied for the DFE platform program, you may have come across our name there. So just a little bit of a background to myself. Jill, if you can flick to the next slide. So I myself have worked in education for about 20 odd years now, and I've worked in all different types of roles and been a clinician in a school, progressed through to become a teacher, been working as a consultant, all very much client side orientated. Did a little bit of work in corporate, but really have been working now at JosKos as the Chief Partnership Officer, and actually being a part of the senior leadership team. We've actually got 50% of our team that are ex-teachers, and the other 50% are all very much focused and have always been working in the education sector. So we know it very, very well. And all of our team are really built to serve education and have a huge element of education experience. You can probably see a little photo that in the corner. That's probably pre-COVID because no one's got any masks and no social distancing going on. So, but that's really the team that everyone's focused and we're very much as a family. If you can move on, Jill. I'm not going to go through all of the details of this slide, but really just want to get across that as a ICT provider of choice for all schools and academies is what we would like to for you guys to take away. We provide a whole host of services and an all range of different services that go from support to strategic support to training, cloud solutions. And because we work across various number of schools and have been around for almost 20 years, we've built a huge element of experience up and also a team. So we've got some of the best cloud architects in the education sector. And what we really want to demonstrate is that we can act as a real partner and as a critical friend to help you move forward and challenge yourselves. And also there'll be areas where we can bring a greater value for money. Next slide. Over the years, we've built a huge amount of partners, frameworks that we work on, different accreditations we have. And one of the things that we're very proud of is that no matter what we've done, we've always remained vendor agnostic. We feel that we are agile and we can really tailor our solutions and needs to customers' requirements. And that's really, really important. There's actually probably another 5 pages of partners and accreditation and frameworks I could have shown, but I thought I'd just show a very small snippet of sort of some of the larger partners and names that you may be more recognized with. And just moving on to the next slide. So I wanted to say, as part of our JosKos, so we've got over 200 schools nationally that are involved with us on a partnership arrangement where we provide ongoing support and strategic support. So one of the real benefits that we bring, and is open to all of you on this forum, is that we're happy to connect you to our network and our schools that we work with. There's just a few names that are on the screen at the moment. That'll give you an idea. You can speak to them about experiences, where they've been, their journey, and we can really try and help bring that all together. And then moving forward, Jill. In terms of attending, we're very much appreciative of your time that you're taking out at a busy time like this, working in schools. And really, we would like to offer a blended and live learning readiness assessment. And I think that's probably more poignant now than it's ever been in respect of making sure that we're ready for cloud and remote working, and blended learning is the way we see it moving forward. An IT services assessment to ensure that value for money can be achieved in the schools, looking at how things work across the estate. And again, just highlighting the DFE platform provisioning program. We've done probably over 100 different schools over the last few weeks, working with Google and Microsoft to deliver a online platform. And it's fully funded from the school, from the department. So it wouldn't cost any of you anything. And the same applies to the blended and learning assessment. What we'd really want to do is help you engage at zero cost and to help bring value to the partnership. I've left my contact details on there, and I believe Tash will share that after as well. So thank you, everyone.
Zishan, does anyone have any questions for him? Jill, I'm just going to... Jill, do you mind? Yeah, and do you mind putting in your
Shall I put that in the chat?
Yeah. Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Zishan or Jill? You can use the thumbs up reaction or just drop it in on the chat. No? Okay, we'll move on. Next up is Neil from Litmus Partnerships.
Thank you, Tash. Good afternoon, and thanks to Oaks for giving me the opportunity to tell you a bit about the Litmus Partnership. I'll be brief, but please feel free to contact me afterwards for some more details. Litmus have now been operating for over 25 years, and all of our senior consultants have over 20 years experience. We're an education sector specialist, and 100% of my work and that of most of my colleagues is with schools and colleges across the country, although we do work in other sectors too. We support primary schools, secondary schools, informal school clusters, and importantly, multi-academy trusts, colleges and universities. We're normally working with over 700 schools at any given time, and we offer a bespoke consultancy service for individual clients rather than a one-size-fits-all, as no two projects are identical. 90% of our work is in catering and cleaning services, but we can support the development of other services such as managed IT provision, grounds maintenance and security contracts. Essentially, our work supports clients in three particular ways. Firstly, we have performance benchmarking audits, where we look at the financial and operational performance of the service against comparable clients, your own budgets, current legislation and industry best practice. Secondly, we can monitor your service provider's performance on an ongoing basis, whether that's a contracted out service or indeed in-house. And many clients retain our support throughout the full life of a contract. Finally, we can run OJU compliant competitive tender processes, and that typically takes around 8 months end to end. There is a common theme though, and that is ensuring that our clients, the schools, the trusts are getting best value, both in financial and quality terms. Obviously it's a balance, and it's not just about getting the lowest cost. It needs to be fit for purpose. We are, as an organisation, Cyber Essentials accredited, the government-backed scheme helping to protect against common online threats. Also ensures we're always fully GDPR compliant. We're a named supplier in the Crown Commercial Services Framework for the provision of management consultancy services, and this scheme supports the public sector to achieve maximum commercial value when procuring goods or services. As a named supplier, our services may be engaged directly by public sector organisations in some cases without having to undertake a further competition to appoint us. The funding structure is completely transparent and fair, with options to spread costs or for the service provider to wholly or partly fund our involvement. So that might be the successful contractor who pays a proportion of our fee. We always provide a precise cost before starting a project so that there won't be any surprises or unexpected costs. In terms of references, if you ask around your local area, you're likely to encounter schools that have already worked with Litmus in the past, or alternatively, we can provide as many references as you require. We're currently working though across the country from Cornwall to Yorkshire and beyond. Our current focus is very much helping schools manage catering and cleaning support services through COVID-19. That falls into 2 or 3 areas. We're renegotiating a lot of budgets at the moment with current contractors. We're helping multi-academy trusts achieve cost efficiency. That's very often by looking at the operational synergies that there can be from rationalising and consolidating services. Many clients currently want to move away from the responsibilities of an in-house cleaning service, and so we have a number of tenders running in that area at the moment. When we tender, we're tendering both single sites but also multi-academy sites, and so the size of the school or the group or the trust is of no barrier to the work that we do. Our focus is always to achieve support services that directly or indirectly benefit pupils so that they have the best education experience possible. At this point in time, we have the experience, but we've also importantly got the capacity to support you with the challenges that lie ahead for the new academic year. So the offer that we have is, if you would like a free, no obligation options appraisal, talk about your services, then please get in touch. My contact details will be put onto the Zoom chat after this, or I'm sure Tasha Oakes would be happy to pass on our details as required. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Neil. Can you just pop in your contact information in the Zoom link for everyone, please? And we will make sure that everyone who's participating in the day gets all of that information too. Does anyone have any questions for Neil? Okay, we will move on. Next up and lastly is Leon from Guide Education.
Hi, Leon's had to leave. He's had to go to another meeting.
No, that's fine.
So I'll take on that. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Andrew. I look after all the sales in Guide Education. So Guide Education is a unique platform where it can reduce your CPD spend in your schools. We offer training solutions all the way from TAs all the way through to senior leadership. It's all like what JosKos was saying. We're massively into the blended learning approach and having that ethos regarding that on our platform. So if I just share my screen with you, I'm not going to go over and above. Can you just, I've been disabled, my hosting skills, Tash.
Sorry, you should be able to do that now.
No, it's all right, no problem, thank you. So if I just share this with you. Our platform has 4 key areas. So we have all the compliance that sits on the platform, accreditation, so we can train everybody from a TA all the way through to fully accredited QTS via the platform, which is accredited by 4 different universities. We have school roles where we can develop existing teachers and also trainee teachers. So we have the primary, secondary and SEM PGC content on. So we can use it as an appraisal coaching tool. So where we talk about blended learning, we look at blended learning but asynchronous performance coaching as well that sits in there. And also as well, we can look at the leadership element of the schools, and we'll look at teaching and learning. We can look at the Senko. We're the only company in the country to have a super teaching school that's sat alongside it. It's a new initiative that's been promoted by the government. It allows everybody to have access to this platform. So the problem is in education, because I used to be a teacher, you pay for your qualifications, you get all the content. Our platform gives every single person in your school the content, and then if they actually want to accredit, they can accredit afterwards. So say for example, you've got 30 TAs in your school. Out of them 30 TAs, maybe 5 of them have the ability to be able to become HLTA, but the remaining 15 can still train to get to the HLTA status, but never have actually sit the qualification. So it's all about giving everybody the chance to upskill, because the CP budgets in education are limited at the best, but our platform allows every single person to have access to online training. And what you can also do is you have the ability to build your own content and share your own content within your schools. And obviously the purpose of today's meeting through Katie is how can you increase your commercial revenue that comes into schools. You can build your own content on our platform, and then you can sell that to other schools. The guy who Tash was speaking about, Leon, he's an outstanding Ofsted head teacher. And if anybody wants to book a one-to-one with Leon, I'll just share the link below so you can have a more personalised approach to that. So thank you.
Thank you, Andrew, for that. Has anyone got any questions for Andrew before we jump into the last 15 minutes or so for some networking? No? Okay, bro. Yeah, if everyone could just share their information in the chat, and again, I will make sure that it's passed through to everyone now. Katie, do you want to pick up the networking stuff?
Well, I think, yeah, Potentially because of obviously the issues that we had earlier, and we have discovered that it's a thing called Zoom bombing that happened to us. It is something that happens quite regularly, and apparently is something that's happening more and more as we're using these kinds of platforms more regularly. I think it does mean that we've obviously not had the kind of uptake from delegates that we wanted, but all is not lost. Tash has obviously been recording this session, and we will circulate this as part of the follow-up with all the delegates from the main day. I think unless anybody, Ian, Emma, I think there's some, Debbie, any of the kind of delegates that would like to ask any questions or have any reflections or thoughts on the day so far, feel free to chip in now, or I suggest that we kind of just end this a little bit prematurely, go away and kind of head back over to the main GoToWebinar platform for the start of this afternoon's session. Any questions or thoughts for anybody? Okay.
Thank you very much.
Apologies again for the disruption, and unfortunately, this not obviously playing out as we would have wanted it to, but we'll share all these contact details with all of the delegates, so hopefully it'll still have some value for all of you. And just a huge thank you for taking the time out to be involved in our day in a very small way. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Good to see everyone.
Cheers, Jill.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you.